Hey, welcome back everyone. Brett here. So we're going to be doing the review on Prime 1's Deathstroke, 1/3 scale. I'm going to do kind of put it together for you and then do a review right after this. So we're going to do a review here. So we're going to do episode Deathstroke here. We're going to talk about him, put him together, give you my thoughts on him. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to start assembling him first, and then we'll move on to kind of the review. So we're going to put together the base here. So base is pretty awesome. And the parts on it are huge as well. It's a huge piece. So I'm using instructions just so I don't do anything wrong here. So let's stay over here. So this one here goes in over here. Maybe, if I can get it around his head. There we go. It's pretty tight next to his head there, so just make sure you get it around it and get it in there. Alright, and then the next one is just the other piece here. So the other piece is going to go, it's keyed on the blade side of the scythe side, whichever you want to call it here. So it's keyed on there. There we go, and it's supposed to be broke here, so that's supposed to be that way. This other hand here. Slides right in there, strong magnet. Alright, so sorry I chopped my head off on that last piece. So I already put Deathstroke in the base. He's just keys right here into the head. He's up there pretty sturdy, no leaning issues. I know we like to talk about leaning issues. So let's go ahead and finish assembling the rest of him. This piece just keys right in the back of his neck here. It's in all the way. There's a lot of swap out parts here, so I'm going to go through and I'll try to show you each one so that you get a feel for it. We've got his swords that go on the back here. And it just keys right in the back, in the middle of it. Okay. Alright, and they've got the arms here. We're going to go with the arms that they start with. It's got a magnet, which is pretty strong, but it's also very tight. So you just kind of work it in there a little bit. Which is good, the way it's hanging like that. And then you got the different options for hands here. Make sure I put the right ones on the right side here. So this one has a pistol option and a sword option. So we'll go with the pistol first, just because I'm probably going to use the sword. So like that, so we'll start with that one. And the instructions show you can do either or. And now the other arm. The other arm has two different arms as well. I think the other arm, this I think is the only arm for this side. I think the other one has different options though. So we'll just start with this one. And on that side, again, you can have two different, you can have either the gun or the sword. I'll probably end up with the gun in this hand. I like the way they keyed these this time too. They keyed them so that there's like a groove on each one of them. So the sword actually doesn't go in that arm. So each arm has its own key. So you can tell which one you're going to be using. So this particular arm that's kind of down more has the sword in it, which kind of sits in front of him like that. Super strong magnets, they fit in really well. They're pretty tight, so no worries about anything really falling out. And then we've got the shoulder pads. Just get in there. There's 3 shoulder pads, so I'm trying to make sure I see which one's supposed to go where. And then this one should go over here. Okay. All right. And then again, you can swap out that other arm and the shoulder pad actually for that arm. I'll show you that once we get everything together, and I'll swap them out. All right. So this just, his sidearm here goes just on the side of his leg here. Last thing we got is his head. So there's 3 different heads. I'll show you each one. And each head has its own bandana that comes off the back of it. So when you're taking him out of the styrofoam, there's his head, and then the bandana's right next to it for each one. We get a guest appearance here from the dogs. So I put the bandana on first. Hopefully that's not a mistake. Thinking it goes the other way. Okay. More up like that. And around the sword. This is the first head. I like this head a lot. It's pretty nice. It's more mechanical, the mask is. So I'll kind of turn it around to the side here. Just to give you an idea. Okay. Let's try one of the other ones. These magnets are really strong. The next one is, it's more of a plain look as far as his mask goes. Key that in. This one's a lot lighter too. Okay. There's that one. This is probably more his traditional mask. Let's do the last one. And the last one is probably the one that I'm going to use. A little bit harder to get that one in. All right. Come over here. So again, this is probably the one I'm going to use. It has the skull on this side here. It hits really cool. I like it a lot. It's almost like a two-face Deathstroke. And more the traditional mask on this side. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to swap out the other parts that I will probably leave on him. Although I do like the dual sword, so just swap out that other side now. card got full, I had to swap out there, so you'll notice we're in a different spot here a little bit. So yeah, so we'll pull these off, swap out to the other arm. One's going to give it a little more height, so you're going to have to display it in something that will give it that height, so you can, so it'll fit in there. All right, so that one goes in there like that. This is probably, like I said, the one that I'm going to keep. I probably should have put the other shoulder piece on first. Go. All right. So that is Deathstroke. So we'll start off just kind of the sculpt, kind of going over it, the architecture on it. The architecture and the action pose, I love it. It's very dynamic. Looks like he's about ready to leap off of the statue here, the skull here. I mean, the base itself, this like giant statue that he's stepping on, the detail's really good in it. Styrofoam's extra. And like I said earlier, so this is supposed to be broke like this, supposed to look like it broke. So that's why that's like that. You see that gap in there? It's intentional. Again, like a lot of the stuff Prime 1 does, there's different textures on the suit even. Some of them smoother than others, and just the paint application is really good too. But anyway, so the architectural though, just the detail they put in, like the scales for like his armor, and then they've got, you know, the ropes around his sheaths. Again, like I said, no real leaning issues. He's going to be heavy in the front. As I say that, he's like sliding sideways. Need a bigger turntable underneath it. So yeah, so no leaning issues. I don't think it's, like I said, it keys into the head here, so that's pretty strong. His back foot is on this back piece of the base here. So I think architecturally, he's really good. You're not going to have any problems with him, I don't think. Sculpt, again, like just the different textures and the armor here, and even on the side here, you can see it goes. There's lines going sideways, as opposed to the scales. Different textures, even on the holster for his gun, and then. This is the skull face I was talking about earlier. It's very detailed. Kind of looks like the skull's broken here. And the swords, if they're not metal, they sure feel like it. I mean, they feel really good. The base itself, so it's really good. So I mean, so yeah, so. The skull's on the base, painted really well. They look really old. I don't know where this statue would be located, but it seems like it's buried pretty far into the ground. Again, like the sculpt, just the different textures they used on all the different stuff that they put on him, all the like little bags they put on him, grenades on his belt. And even the weapons themselves, like his gun, they put a lot of detail into that as well. So yeah, so the sculpt is fantastic. I love the action pose they put him in. All right. So the paint, I'll just talk briefly about the paint. It's fantastic job. Like the factories are getting better and better with these the paint applications they put on them. Just the wear and tear, they make it look really old in certain spots. Again, I mean, the painting the texture even too, so like on the grip of the gun, you can see it's a darker paint inside the holes that are on the grip than on the outside where it would wear. And then the base looks like they like painted like kind of like dirt in all the cracks and crevices. Almost looked like it was in the sand or something. And then the head sculpt of the skull here, all the lines and the cracks, it's a lot darker in there like you would normally see. The shadowing and the shading they put on it as far as where the muscles are, they're spot on. And this little bandana here around his neck, I can't say enough about it. It is really cool. It feels like it was sculpted and then they covered it like with material, because you can see the little frills they have here on it. That feels like material. So it's like maybe they attached that afterward, but that is a really nice touch. So I have to say, I mean, overall, it's pretty close to a 10 out of 10. I didn't see any flaws. The magnets were super strong. It went together really well. I didn't have any trouble really putting anything on it. The magnets are so strong. He is going to take up a lot of room, but well worth it. Fantastic job, Prime 1. Definitely spot on with this one. Alright, so that's the review. I hope you enjoyed watching me put it together and stuff. And then just kind of going over it as far as the details and everything I like about it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And again, please subscribe and hit that bell. I'm doing some other stuff too, so I did a video that I'll be uploading soon on the shelving unit I put together back here with the aluminum extrusion stuff, because I had a lot of people asking about that. So make sure you watch that one as well. And it'll be somewhere down here in the bottom of the video. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone.